first Brandon Coin Club podcast. My name is Zach Longenecker. I'm the VP of Education, and this is
Brendan Carnes, and I'm the secretary of the club.
And I'm Derek Spalding. I am a board member of the club, and we're here today to talk to you about what these presentations are going to be here moving forward, but also do a quick little introduction of some interesting stories that we've had, like how we got started into coin collecting. So Zach, how did you get started?
Well, I have a little bit of a different path. I actually liked more traditional paper investing with like companies and stuff, and I started finding out about gold miners, and eventually that kind of led me to the I think I used GLD or IUA, one of the ETFs where some bank somewhere has gold that you have a paper claim to. And then I realized, like, if things in the world ever get really bad, that I'm probably not going to be able to get that gold. And then I pretty much just showed up at Brendan's shop. That's pretty much how I got my start in coin collecting. What about you?
They say if you don't hold it, you don't own it.
Yep.
So I actually got started with coin collecting with my great-grandfather and my father. And my earliest memory is sitting on my great-grandfather's lap and him telling me, one day when I die, these coins will be yours and they're going to pay for college. So that immediately just sparked this whole value proposition to me that, wow, these coins are rare, they have tangible value, and it's going to help me later in life. The irony is, when he did die and passed the coins down to me and I knew very much what they were worth, that was barely going to buy one school book. But what did happen was, by him planting that seed, it taught me to learn more about coins, and ultimately I did pay for college by buying and selling coins. And yeah.
Cool. So full-time started collecting about 3 years ago with the pandemic. My wife gave me a book called Coin Collecting for Dummies and said, here, go get yourself a hobby since you're going to be here at the house for a little bit longer than what you should be. And so I started reading about coins. I'm still not probably as knowledgeable as you, Brendan, with 25 years, but just collecting basic. And but I did get introduced to the hobby when I was about 9, 10, somewhere around there, with my grandmother's coin collection of like basic mercury dimes and buffalo nickels with no dates on them. You know, just basic stuff that there's a lot of, but it kind of sparked an interest in same thing of like, oh, these will appreciate in value, and at some point you will have them, and you know, you can either do with them what you will, you know, either keep them and collect them, or hopefully have a little return of something that you can then use for college or use for a new car. And again, also the irony is the collection that my grandparents had probably would have only paid for a hamburger meal. You know, there was not a whole lot. So
All right, well, that's a little bit about our how we got into coin collecting. Today we're kind of just introducing ourselves and going through a few fun topics to kind of get this started. So the next question for you, Brendan, is what are you currently collecting and why?
Oh, that's a funny question, because I mean, as a shop owner, I'm always collecting, buying, selling, and sometimes I have a piece that I like a lot, so I hold on to it for a little while and then I put it back into the case. And to answer that question is, I have two sets that I'm really working on right now, and that is a US type set and a Dansko album. And for that, what I'm doing is I'm picking high-grade first-year examples or mid-grade semi-key or key dates. And then the other collection is just a wheat cent collection. In fact, I've got that in a Dansko album, just the 09 to 58. The back 2 pages are fully uncirculated. All of them came out of BU rolls. The second page has probably about a third uncirculated, and then the first page is very sparsely uncirculated. But yeah, so got a typeset and a wheat penny set.
Cool.
When you say, like, when you were saying the grades that you want, what did you mean by, like, MS?
Well, just a coin that pops in mind is an 1883 V-nickel. So I've got that as, I think I cracked it out of a 63 or 64 holder. So it's not extremely valuable, but just higher grade first year examples. Obviously put it an 09 VDB that I cracked out of a holder. And then for one of the semi-key, or well rather key dates, is I have a 32S quarter that came out of an AU55 old annex holder. So it's, you know, kind of a mid-grade key date coin.
Could be a 58.
Maybe, I should resubmit it, but I do keep the labels and I tape those to the book so that I've got those. But what are you working on right now, Zach?
I'm pretty into Franklin's. I'm not really sure why, they just kind of called to me. I bought one from him. It was actually just a business strike. I think it was a 51, like MS64 or something, and I went ahead and bought a few different Morgans and a couple other coins, just trying to, I don't know, just kind of try some different coins out. And for some reason I just kept seeing that one, and I'd have more expensive coins and I just liked it more. And then I guess I saw the proof ones and kind of realized one of the nice things is you don't have to worry about looking for full bell lines because it's proof.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just generally rarer. So I'm trying to get, actually not the 60s proofs. I might do it eventually once I get 50 through 59, but probably at least a 65 in all of those. Probably won't do cameo or deep cameo because if you guys haven't checked lately, the decam 50s are very expensive. What about you?
Oh, I've got two sets I'm collecting right now. The first one that I've been collecting, and I'll probably continue to collect over the next 10, 20 years, is American Silver Eagles, and I know it's a bullion coin, but really the deep cameos, so PR70s. Particularly, the reason why is because they are hard to come by. They're not as rare as just a standard, you know, MS bullion coin, and plus they're really shiny, and I think that's kind of cool. But when I started that set, I thought, oh, this is a good set. It'll be pretty easy to collect. And then realized that, you know, yes, some of them are only $100, if that, which, you know, is still an expensive coin, but not way expensive. But there are a couple that are actually quite expensive. Some of them are in the 5-digit range of, like, I think one of them is $1,000 or $2,000, and then there's one that's, I think I was just looking it up this weekend actually at the fun show. It's a 95 West Point coin. In a PR70, it's a $25,000 book value coin. Yeah.
Book value, huh?
Book value. So yeah, I mean it's gonna be cheaper than that, but it just could not believe that. And I had to look that one up. Like I was like, why the crap is this one coin that much out of the entire set? And that's kind of why I like coin collecting, is you learn new things about coins and like why they're rare and stuff. And
So what did you find out on that 95W, Derek?
well, it was part of a collector set from the mint back in '95, and they didn't make a whole lot of them. I don't remember the mintage on them, but they only made a few thousand, and so they were, oh, you got the red book right there, all right.
Yeah.
So they only made a few of them, and a lot of people didn't buy them, so they didn't make a whole lot, and so it's now kind of a rarity to find. So what's the mintage on the 95W?
So let's see. On the 95W proof, they made 30,125, and that stacks up to anywhere from $500,000 up to, yeah, so most of them are around $500,000.
Yeah.
So that's,
Weightless.
yeah, that's less than a tenth. So that makes sense why that one's so expensive. And, you know, that 95W reminds me of the 2020 V75 Gold Eagle.
Yep, that one too.
I happen to have sold 2 of those in those 70 holders, the Iwo Jima label,
Yeah.
and I've been watching. They went up in value already, and I expect that coin to continue to be one of the greatest modern rarities at only 1,945 pieces made.
Help.
You wish you'd kept it?
Yeah, it was expensive, so I had to just move it, make my little money, and keep going.
I think that was one actually when I was on the US Mint's website trying to get and didn't get it.
Oh,
I was like, refresh.
Yeah, there's
yeah,
I
and then
didn't
it says, "Are you a human?" Prove that you're a human. Yeah.
punch the computer screen.
Yeah.
Yep,
So.
coin collecting, a lot of remorse when you sell.
Yeah. And then the other set that I'm collecting is a $2.50 Indian cent.
Ooh.
Yeah, on the low ends. I can't afford the high ends, but the low ends, you know, high 50s, mid 50s. I've been able to find a couple 60s that are fairly affordable. So, but
Nice.
yeah, the high ends are a little more than I.
Now, on that 2.5 set, are you aiming for holdered or raw?
Rolled, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, given that the price points are in that couple $100 price range for one of them, I just kind of feel more comfortable as a collector that's not as knowledgeable in coins,
Mhm.
getting the holders.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know holders can be counterfeited and stuff, but there's at least one additional layer of like security. Like I know this is an authentic coin and it's a
Yeah.
real coin, and at least a third party has said what what the grade is of it. So and I'm getting there. I can actually start to tell on at least silver coins what grades are, especially in the Morgans. But those gold coins, I need some lessons on it, Brenda, like how to tell the difference, because you look at a 65 and you look at a 62 and you're like, there's no difference unless you have a magnifying glass, which I need to start doing, but still, it's crazy.
Yeah, honestly, I find gold coins very hard to grade, and even more so the Indians, the
Yeah.
2.5s and 5s, because they're struck NQ, so you're
Yep.
actually grading it different from any other coin, and it just so happens to be gold as well. You add those two things together, and I have a very hard time discerning a 62 from a
Yep.
64.
Hence why I'm doing them in slabs, letting someone else deal with that.
That's a
And
good idea,
You
Derek.
told me about the incues before. That's when the die is sticking out, right? And when the metal.
Well, more so
Forms
the
to-
design is going into the coin instead of there being a relief in the die that gets filled to create an upward design.
So
Okay.
instead of like, if you look at a coin and you consider that, say, like a positive image of the person being raised up, it's the opposite. So it's almost
Yeah.
like a negative. And that's kind of why I like that set, is because it's something that really, there's not a whole lot of them out there in circulation as a circulated coin. And so it was just something different and unique. So.
Very cool. All right.
Well, on that note, thank you guys for watching, and that might be a good topic for maybe another episode, is those goldbacks out of Utah or something like that as well. And of course, as we do these presentations, we'll have like a main topic and a little news piece of information like this. So thank you for watching and have a great evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, my